Hi guys, I'm back with a new video and let's talk about 2025. So this is one of my favorite videos to film. Like every year, I just love to look forward to the films that are coming out in the next year, and I usually ramble too much, so I'm gonna try and keep these as short as possible, for your sake and again for my sake also, because again I'm filming these at the end of the day and I'm running out of daylight. So you already know the drill. Like I tend to do this, I just procrastinate too much. But yeah, I'm so excited to talk to you about these films. And for the first time, I did something that I usually don't do. Uh, Usually, I just stick to a top 10, like my 10 most anticipated films of the year, like 2025. But this year, it was too hard. It was too hard to just narrow it down to 10. So, this is still a like top 10, but I have some honorable mentions. I also kept those to only 3 films because I kept switching these up, and some of these films I just felt so bad for leaving out of my list. And there were a ton of films that I'm looking forward to a lot of films and I wanted to include them all, but this is like a top 10 most anticipated. Also, I had these in one order, and last night I decided to switch a bunch of them. So yeah, these might change, but as of now, these are my most anticipated films for this year, 2025. And let's start with some honorable mentions. So these 3 films, one of them is one that was in my top 10, but I had to switch it for another film that I forgot to include in my list, but I remembered it and I just thought this one needs to be in my like proper top 10. And the other 2 films are films that I just think they are going to be really good, but for like I'm just way too attached to some other people involved with the other films, so I couldn't put this one in my top 10. So yeah, let's talk about the films. My honorable mentions are The Bride. This is the Bride of Frankenstein film directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal, and it stars Jessie Buckley and Christian Bale as the Frankenstein monster. And yeah, I feel like I love everyone involved in this, and I don't know, I have a feeling that this is going to be one of the best films of the year. I have a feeling these would be in talks for some awards next year. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be a good one. The second one in my list is The Running Man. Not only I'm just a sucker for Stephen King, I'm still not tired of it, and I feel like last year we didn't get a lot of Stephen King adaptations, so next year or this year is going to be the year of Stephen King adaptations again, and I have a few in my top 10, and I almost had this one in my top 10 because of that, but also because this stars Glenn Powell, and I just, after Twisters, I became a big fan of Glenn Powell. I also really liked him in Hitman, in other films, but Twisters was the one for me. And yeah, I'm looking forward to The Running Man. I forgot to mention, but The Bride is supposed to come out on October 2nd, and The Running Man is supposed to come out in November 20. And these are the dates for Portugal. They are pretty similar to the ones in the US for most films, but not all of them. So these are the dates that I'm supposed to see this film. So yeah, I'm gonna do this as for me, and these are the dates that I have currently for Portugal. So yeah. And my final film in my honorable mentions is the one that was in my top 10, but because of another film I had to take it out. And I'm talking about Final Destination Bloodlines. Final Destination is one of my favorite horror franchises. I think it's my second favorite right after Saw. And we've been waiting for this one for a long time. This also holds like a special place in my heart because it was like Final Destination 5, I think, was the first horror film that I watched in the cinema. So yeah, I just love Final Destination, and I have high hopes for this one. I think it's gonna be good, and it's supposed to come out in May 15. So yeah, keep an eye on that. And now let's get to the proper top 10. Again, I'm gonna try and run through these ones quickly. Yeah, I'm running out of battery as well. So yeah, let's keep these as short as possible. So in my number 10 is another Stephen King adaptation. It's The Life of Chuck. It's the new Mike Flanagan film. Just those two things are enough for me. But on top of that, we have Tom Hiddleston starring in this one as the lead. This, I don't think it's exactly a horror film. It's mostly a sci-fi as far as I know. But there has been some buzz about this film. Some people have already seen it in film festivals. A lot of people are talking really highly of it. So I had to have a Mike Flanagan film in my top 10. Number 9, I told you in my best of that I had a Dan Stevens film. I think there's like one film and 2 TV shows coming out this year with Dan Stevens. So in my top 10, I have actually in my number 9, I have The Ritual. It's a horror film. It's like a possession film, and it has Dan Stevens, so I'm sold. I'm not a huge fan of like possession and ghosts and stuff, like films with that subgenre, but with Dan Stevens in it, I'm curious. And this one is supposed to come out in April, 18th of April. The Life of Chuck was supposed to come out in June. So yeah, I don't know a lot about most of these films because I try to get away from trailers and spoilers. I usually only watch teaser trailers, and only if I'm like really, really curious about the film or if I'm on the fence with it. But when there's a director and an actor that I like, I usually don't know a lot, and that's enough for me. I like to go in blind. My number 8 is Saw 11. This one is supposed to come out in September, 26th of September. Again, I don't think I need to say a lot more. It's a Saw film, and if there's a Saw film coming out that year, you gonna bet it's in my most anticipated list. Now for my number 7 spot is the film that I had to kick Final Destination out of my top 10, and I'm talking about Carolina Caroline. This is the new Carl Gallner film, and I'm sure you're tired of hearing me talk about Carl Gallner. So, if there's a new film of his coming out in that year, I'm going to have it in my most anticipated list. This one doesn't have a date yet, but it is in post-production. They have wrapped filming. So, yeah, this one is a crime thriller as far as I know. And besides Carl Gallner, it has Samara Weaving, so I'm sold. Like, yeah, I can't wait to watch this film, and I have a feeling this is coming out like in October. I think it's the perfect time to watch a film like this. So yeah, can't wait. My number 6 is a film that is coming out this month. It's right around the corner, but it is a film that I'm excited, but this could either be really good or like really disappoint me. I'm talking about Companion. It's supposed to come out, as I said, at the end of this month. And I don't know why, but I'm getting the same vibe as Fresh. I don't know if you remember Fresh. That's the film with Sebastian Stan and Daisy Edgar Jones. And I love that film. So from the poster and the bits of the trailer that I saw, like snippets and like stills, I'm getting a similar vibe, like a dark romance. This is supposed to be a horror as well. So yeah, I'm excited, but I'm prepared to maybe be disappointed. I don't know. My number 5 is the only superhero film in my list, and it's the Fantastic Four First Steps. This is supposed to come out in July, 24th of July. And this has Joseph Quinn, which is, again, enough for me. All of these films have some of my favies. So, yeah. But also, I have always been a fan of the older films, the older Fantastic Four films with Chris Evans. So yeah, I think this is going to be a fun one and most likely the best superhero film of the year. This also stars Pedro Pascal, so yeah, what not to love about this film already. My number 4, again, as another one of my favies. I haven't read the book yet, but I'm gonna read the book before this film comes out. There's no date yet, but again, they wrapped filming. It's in post-production, and this should come out in summer because this is a summer book and it's going to be a summer movie. I'm talking about People We Meet on Vacation. This one stars Tom Blythe as the protagonist. So yeah, again, only that is enough. I had other Tom Blythe films in my list, possible list. He has other 2 films coming out, but out of all of them, I think this one is the one that I'm most curious about. I think even though the other 2 films that he has coming out are more like thriller, crime, stuff like that, but this one I would just want to see him as like the romantic guy in like a movie like this. Like, I suppose this is like a romantic comedy. So yeah, I can't wait to see him as the love interest. It's going to be, at least it's gonna look good. So yeah. Now for my top 3. My top 3 are all films that I genuinely think they're going to be amazing films. They are most of them by directors that I love, but honestly, just because I think they're going to be really good films. My number 3 is The Monkey. It's the new Osgood Perkins film, and this is also based on a Stephen King short story from the book Skeleton Crew. I really want to read it before the movie comes out, and I have to really quickly because this is supposed to come out in February, at the end of February, but still I just need to read it before the movie comes out. So not only Stephen King, Osgood Perkins, but it also stars Theo James. I've seen some stills from the trailer and I think this is going to be scary. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. Number 2, I think, even though it's not my number 1, I think this is going to be the best horror film of the year. As of now, this looks like it's going to be the best one. And I'm talking about Presence. This is a new Steven Soderbergh film. And the cast, is good. It has Lucy Liu and Julia Fox. But it's the plot that sells me on this one. I've seen, again, some snippets of the trailer. And this is supposed to be a haunting film, like a ghost film, but from the perspective of the ghost. And from what I've been hearing, this is pretty scary, and it looks like it's going to be scary So yeah, I'm so looking forward to this one, and this one is coming out really soon, again in February, but in the beginning of February 6th. So yeah, I can't wait to watch this one. And now for my number one, I'm not gonna lie, I have already seen this film, and you're gonna see a review really soon. I was gonna review it right after filming this video, but as I said, running out of daylight, so maybe tomorrow, I don't know, but you'll see a review of this film really soon. But yeah, I'm talking about Wolfman, the new Lee Whannell film, and just because it's Lee Whannell, I'm sold. Yeah, I just love Lee Whannell, and not only I love The Invisible Man, but he's also like such a great guy, and I just love hearing him talk about making films. So yeah, just that was enough for me. But yeah, as I said, I watched it, and all I'm gonna say is that Christopher Abbott was better than I expected, honestly, as the werewolf. Honestly, I was kind of bitter because this was supposed to star Ryan Gosling, and I was just like, oh my god, Lee Whannell and Ryan Gosling like working together, perfection. But honestly, I can't really see Ryan Gosling doing what Christopher Abbott did. But yeah, this is going to come out next week, I think. But I have seen it, and you'll see my review really soon. You'll find out if this met my expectations as my number one most anticipated film of 2025. It's kind of annoying that when I have my most anticipated film as the first film that comes out in the new year, like it's one of the first new releases. But usually, yeah, I had this one in my most anticipated last year as well, not in first place, but yeah, now it is, or it was, because I already saw it. But yeah, stay tuned for my Wolfman review. And yeah, these are my most anticipated films of 2025. Let me know in the comments which one are like your most anticipated films. Do you have any of the ones that I've mentioned in your list? Are any of the ones that I mentioned a surprise to you? You weren't aware they were coming out? There's just 2 films here that don't have release dates, but even if they have, that's not guaranteed that the films are coming out this year. But yeah, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed yet, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!